And welcome back to the Beyond the A-League show, New South Wales NPL edition. I am your host, Aaron Beggs. On today's episode, we have a look at all of the action from round 4 and have a preview of round 5. Plus, we go through my picks, review, and I'll also continue my look at the history of some of the clubs from the New South Wales NPL competition. So stay tuned and I'll be back after the break with all the action from round 4. And welcome back to Beyond the A-League. And without further ado, let's get into all of the action from round 4 of the NPL New South Wales competition. And we start with Friday night's only game, and it was Sydney FC versus Manly United. And unfortunately, this game ended in a 0-0 draw with both teams splitting the points. Moving on to Saturday's games, we start with Sydney United taking on the Western Sydney Wanderers at Sydney United Sports Centre. And it was the home side that finally got back on track for the season and wound up winning 2-0 with Tariq Mayer and Leroy Jennings getting the goals there for United. The next game, we travelled out to Popadetta Park where Mount Druitt welcomed the champions Rockdale Illendon. And it was the champions that won this game 3-2, coming from behind after Blake Richetto helped the home side take the lead from an own goal. But the away team got the equaliser with Modu Najjar, and they went ahead when Alek Jurasevski scored midway through the second half. But the home side made it interesting when John Azar scored a late penalty. But the champions do what champions do and never give up. And Isaac Denzo got the winner for Rockdale deep into added time to send the away fans home happy. NWS Spirit kept their winning streak alive playing St George City FA at Christie Park, and it was the Spirit that stayed on top of the table with a strong 2-0 win with a goal on either side of halftime through Zane Ahluwali and Michael Conestabo. Down on the south coast at Wynn Stadium, the Wollongong Wolves took on the struggling Central Coast Mariners, and it was the home side that got off to a flyer, taking a 2-goal lead after 26 minutes with goals from Alex Masciovecchio and Nicholas Olsen. But the Mariners soon got one back before half-time through Ayak Mal and go into the break only one goal down. And it wasn't until very deep into added time that the score changed, with the Mariners finally getting the first point of the season when Arthur De Lima got the equaliser. This game ended in a 2-2 draw, disappointing there for the Wolves. As we move to Marconi Stadium, Marconi took on the other St George team, St George FC, and it was the home side that took the lead through Damien Tsekenis, but the away team never gave up and they got the equaliser in the 84th minute with Sunday Yona helping get the draw against the more fancied team. And the final game on Saturday saw Sutherland Sharks at home against Sydney Olympic. And it was the away side that finally put their best foot forward in this competition and absolutely smashed the fancied Sutherland Sharks 5-1, with Teng Kual getting one, Cyrus Dimi and Dylan Ruiz Diaz both getting a brace each. And for the home side, Iko Ihod Arimoto got the lone goal there for the Sharks. And with only one game on Sunday, which saw Blacktown welcome Apia Leichhardt to Landon Stadium. And it was the home side that got this one underway with Keanu Moore scored in the 18th minute. But it wasn't long before the away side got back into it, with Cameron Fong getting the equaliser in the 31st, taking the game 1-1 into halftime. Back from the break, and it was Blacktown that quickly took the lead through Mitchell Malia goal in the 46th minute, and got another one 1 minute later when Jack O'Brien got their third, leading 3-1. City must have thought they were going to win this one easily and took their foot off the pedal, but Apia had other thoughts, and it was Presley Ortiz that got them back into it with 2 quick goals to make it 3-3 with 20 minutes to go. But the home side prevailed, and it was Seong Jo Choi again grabbing the winner to send the home side out 4-3 winners. So that's it for the round 4 wrap this week. And if we have a look at the table, we see Spirit on top with 12 points, Marconi on 8. Then we have a logjam of teams on 7 with Olympic, Rockdale, Blacktown and Sutherland. The Wolves are on 6, Manly on 5, Sydney United are on 5. And we've got 5 teams on 4 points with Apia, St George City, Mount Druitt, Western Sydney Wanderers and Sydney FC. And the 2 lone teams down the bottom of the table are St George FC and the Mariners, with their finally 1 point from the season so far. My picks from this last week were Sutherland, Rockdale, Sydney United, Wollongong, Spirit, Marconi, Apia and Sydney FC. I got 3 out of 8. They're not very good. So we look forward to next week's picks. As we move on to next week's action, round 5, we have Friday night. We have Manly versus Mount Druitt at Cromer Park. St George FC versus Sutherland at Barton Park. On Saturday, we have Marconi versus Olympic at Marconi Stadium, which will be a cracker of a game. It always is between the Italians and the Greeks. Rockdale versus Wollongong at Rockdale Illingdon Sports Centre. Wanderers versus the Spirit at Wanderers Football Park. St George City FA versus Blacktown City at Penshurst Park. On Sunday, we have Sydney United versus the Mariners at Sydney United Sports Centre. Apia Leichhardt versus Sydney FC at Lambert Park. Apia hoping to get back on the winning streak there. I don't know. So that, and we'll go to my picks for round 5, and they are. So my picks for round 5 are Mount Druitt. I'm going to say Sutherland are going to win against St George FC. A draw between Marconi and Olympic. Rockdale to beat the Wolves. The Spirit to beat the Wanderers. Blacktown to beat St George City. United to beat the Mariners, and Apia to beat Sydney FC. So that's it for part 1 of this episode. Stay tuned for part 2, where I continue my look at the history of some of the NPL New South Wales clubs. I'll be back after the break. And welcome back to part 2 of the NPL New South Wales episode. This week, to continue my journey through the history of NPL New South Wales clubs, I'm going to have a look at St George FC. St George FC, a name synonymous with passion, tradition and resilience, has left an indelible mark on Australian football landscape. From its humble beginnings as a club formed by Hungarian immigrants to its triumphs in the National Soccer League, St George FC has captivated generations of fans. Our story begins in 1957, a time when Australia was experiencing a wave of immigration following World War II and the Hungarian Revolution of 1956. Among those who sought refuge in this new land were a group of passionate Hungarian football enthusiasts who longed to keep their football or their love for the beautiful game alive. Start at 11:30 Welcome back to part 2 of the NPL New South Wales episode, and this week I'm going to continue my look at the history of some of the clubs from the New South Wales NPL, and this week I'm going to have a look at St George FC. St George FC is a name synonymous with passion, tradition and resilience, and has left an indelible mark on the Australian football landscape. From its humble beginnings as a club formed by Hungarian immigrants to its triumphs in the NSL, St George FC has captivated generations of fans. Our story begins in 1957, a time when Australia was experiencing a wave of immigration following World War II and the Hungarian Revolution of '56. Among those who sought refuge in this new land were a group of passionate Hungarian football enthusiasts who longed to keep their love for the beautiful game alive. These immigrants, yearning for a sense of community and connection to their homeland, formed a club initially known as Budapest. They played their early matches at various grounds across Sydney, their skills and passion quickly attracting attention. In 1960s, under the guidance of visionary administrator Alex Pongras, the club made a pivotal decision. They sought a permanent home, a place where they could establish their identity and build a loyal following. They chose the St George district, a region with a rich sporting heritage and a welcoming community. The club's name evolved, reflecting its newfound connection to the district. It becomes St George Budapest, a symbol of the fusion of cultures and the club's commitment to its new home. The 1960s also saw the rise of one of Sydney FC's most influential figures, Johnny Warren, a gifted midfielder with exceptional vision and leadership qualities. Warren became an icon of Australian football. Warren's impact extended beyond the field. He was a passionate advocate for the game, a voice for the players, and a driving force behind the development of Australian football. In 1971, St George FC achieved a remarkable feat, winning an international club tournament in Tokyo, Japan. This victory solidified their status as a force to be reckoned with and remains one of the highest international achievements by an Australian club side. The 1970s brought further success for St George FC. They won several state league titles and established themselves as a breeding ground for talented players. The club's commitment to developing young talent laid the foundation for future generations of stars. The late 1970s marked a turning point in Australian football. With the establishment of the NSL, St George FC was among the founding members, embarking on a new era of national competition. The NSL brought together the best clubs from across the country, raising the standard of football and capturing the imagination of fans. St George FC embraced the challenge, showcasing their skills and determination on a national stage. In '83, St George FC reached the pinnacle of their success, winning the NSL Championship. This triumph was a testament to the club's hard work, dedication and unwavering belief in their abilities. In the '80s also saw the emergence of legendary coach Frank Arok. Arok's tactical acumen and ability to motivate players made him a revered figure at St George FC. Arok's influence extended beyond the club level. He went on to coach the Australian national team, leaving a lasting legacy on the Australian football landscape. The NSL era brought both highs and lows for St George FC. The club experienced periods of success and faced challenges, but their spirit remained unbroken. In the 90s, the NSL underwent restructuring and St George was controversially omitted from the competition. This decision was a blow to the club and its fans, but it did not diminish their passion for the game. St George FC returned to state league competitions, continuing to nurture young talent and maintain their connection to the local community. The club's commitment to grassroots football ensured that the flame of St George FC continued to burn brightly. In recent years, St George FC has made a resurgence, earning promotion back into the NPL New South Wales. The club's return to the top tier of state football is a testament to the resilience and determination. As Sydney FC looks to the future, they carry with them a rich history, a legacy of passion and an unwavering spirit. The club's story is one of triumph over adversity, of community pride and the enduring power of football. St George FC's journey is a reminder that football is more than just a game. It's a source of identity, a unifying force and a celebration of the human spirit. We invite you to join us in celebrating the history of St George FC. Let us remember the moments of glory, the legendary players, the unwavering spirit that have made this club a cornerstone of Australian football. Thank you for joining me on this historic look at St George FC. I hope you enjoyed this journey, exploring the rich tapestry of this remarkable club. So that's all we have time for on this week's episode of Beyond the A-League NPL New South Wales edition. Just a little update on what's going to be happening over the coming weeks from round 9 of the competition through till round 13. I will only be able to do videos that will be a preview. So a preview of the upcoming round and an historical look at a team. There will not be any review episodes as I will be away in the middle of the Pacific Ocean for a month on holiday. That has been 5 years in the making. I will be posting on the Facebook page to keep up to date with all the results, but will not be in a video form. But please don't forget, if you like what you see, then give us a subscribe, a comment or a like on here and on the socials. And as always, be kind to each other, and I will see you next week with all the happenings from round 5. Have a good week. Bye.